You know what they're saying about Mexico? They're saying it's fine. It's absolutely fine for Costco to get blown up. It's fine for gas stations to go up in flames and for people to be set on fire at those gas stations in Tulum, Mexico, Guadalajara Airport, and all of the other places that these things are happening. And we were talking, and we were like, you know what, that could never happen on this side of the world because we're way outside of the Americas, because it's not even just about America anymore, the United States of America. It's the Americas where all of this
Yeah.
chaos is happening. North America, Central America, South America. People used to ask us, why not move to South America? Now you see why. These scenarios that have happened in Venezuela, in Haiti, in the Caribbean, and now Mexico are exactly why we chose to get far away from that side of the world. Because at this rate, it's inevitable. President Donald Trump is going to rule the Americas and combine them, including Canada, including Mexico, including Venezuela, and all the folks on that side of the world. But that rulership comes with a hefty price.
Yeah, like I say, everything is going to take time, right? So we know lots of people that actually travel to Belize, that travel to Brazil, and they say, oh, we hear stories about people getting robbed and this and that, but people still go. And, that might be okay for, some people, but for us and, our household here, we move strategically. We move with safety. We move with common sense, to be honest. Like, we don't want to be nowhere near danger in a way. We want peace, and you should too. Like, so this is why we tell people, for us, we move a little bit different. We're not, backpackers in a way where we are traveling all around with our children and stuff. We move slowly. We move with
Stability.
yeah, like common sense. It's really common sense when it comes down to it. Like, you don't want to move outside of America or travel outside of America to be
In a
in a
worse
situation like
situation.
that, because that is wild. They are literally burning buses, cars, Costco. Like, that's wild. And it's like, dang, like, we for us, we have a client in a mature adult intensive, and he actually just sold his house in Mexico. I'm not sure if he felt something
Wow.
about
Just in
just
time.
Mexico in general, but that kind of tells me, like, we don't say these things for no reason. We say these things so you guys can really listen and, choose wisely. You got to be wise in these last days. You got to really make sense of everything that is happening right now, because it's happening in real time. I cannot imagine me and my family in a situation like that. I did not leave America to be in situations like that.
Right, you might as well stay in America if you're gonna go to a place like that, where Costco's, like, really think about this for a moment, where Costco's are blowing up. This is coming down to a point where it's like the Venezuelas, the Mexicos, the places that are like this are equal to a Somalia, to an Afghanistan, because it doesn't matter how many beautiful resorts, how many tourists, if you're fearing for your life. Because if you're a parent, you think differently. Now, if you're single, that's different. You've never had children, you're not married, you are on a different frame of mind. And so you're probably less or more risk adverse, or less risk adverse. You may just be like, I can just go anywhere, do anything. But we have heard stories, even from single people that are like, yeah, I was in Colombia and I was in a resort, and just across from me, it was getting shot up. These aren't things that we are willing to risk. These aren't things that we are willing to have anything to do with. But for a lot of people that are in the Americas, they find it hard to believe that other places of the world are this safe the way that they are. Like a Seychelles, like a Mauritius, a Botswana, a Namibia, even the place that's quote unquote one of the most dangerous places, South Africa. I'm pretty sure they're not blowing up Costco. I'm pretty sure they're not going to blow up the new Walmart. Like, literally blowing up the entire gas station, the entire store. That's anarchy. And
Yeah.
you can't call it anything else. You can't water it down. You can't say, well, everything's all right because it's not in my area. That's a very selfish way of being, because there were Mexicans who were impacted. And I
Yeah.
bet their story isn't going to be, oh, it's not a big deal. Their story is, gosh, how do I get out of here? I wish I could get out somehow.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Their
one
story
hundred
is, this
percent.
is painful for me. I'm going through pain, and the Americans coming down. And that's why Mexicans were protesting Americans, because the American mindset can be so colonial and so selfish to where you're not even considering how this impacts other people. Just because a bullet didn't take you out doesn't mean it didn't take anybody else out, doesn't mean it didn't affect people's families, doesn't mean they're not going to have to live with post-traumatic stress disorder. Because when you hear these explosions, I can only imagine your PTSD is going to shoot through the roof. But now you got to pay for therapy. Americans a lot of times can afford therapy. But can this Mexican neighbor afford therapy? No,
Yeah.
they're just at the bad end of the deal, where it's like America and their government and whoever else is involved just do these crazy things and basically force the hand of the leaders of Mexico to say, okay, President Donald Trump, we need your help.
Yeah.
Because nothing like that, even as bad as America is, the gas station typically isn't going to blow up. Now, of course, you had 9/11 with the towers blowing up and things of that nature. But the way that Mexico is in complete anarchy right now, there's not many places on earth that you'll see that level of anarchy.
Yeah. Yeah. You just got to think about, like, they kind of show us in a way of these cartels, right? Just look at movies, look at shows that they just put out there to let people know, like,
Oh my gosh,
don't go don't go to this area, because the cartel is here or this and that. But the cartel is real, and they are organized. They've been organized. They are pretty much too big to fail. So I don't want to be nowhere near that, like a organization like that. Like, just if you really think about it, like, why would you? My wife was saying PTSD. I know for, for us, I guess I can say for me, when we first moved to Africa, you have to get over that in a way, especially coming from America. I guess depending on your background and your childhood and stuff like that, the things that you went through. But I remember being in Tanzania, and they have motorcycles that pops, right? And that's something that I realized, like, wow, I am tripping right now, because I'm shaking up when I hear a motorcycle. So I can't even imagine, like, people that's in Mexico that hears that day after day after day, and they really can't do nothing. That's why I say, like, you leave America, you leave places that's similar to America,
Too
so
similar.
you can heal. You have to heal, and it's going to take time. Like, it's really getting down to that point where it's very serious. Like, it's literally life or death. And
Yeah, you
this day
choosing the
you
wrong
have to
country
choose.
can be life or death.
Yeah, you have to choose
Absolutely.
wisely. Like, it's really getting real out here. And what caused that was because a leader, you know, got unalived.
Unalived.
You get what I'm saying? So that's something that's heavy. I'm not sure how long this is going to go on, but I know this is breaking news. This is new, like, heavy news, like, worldwide. It's wild.
Worldwide. So people in Africa are watching, and just think the way that Africans and Asians are viewing this, especially sub-Saharan Africans, people from Southeast Asia, South Asia, Madagascar, the Mascarene Islands. They kind of look at this just like, wow, that's what it's like on that side of the world. Which is why a lot of them, when they travel abroad, they'll opt to go to a United Kingdom, a Germany, somewhere like that. Within Africa, if they're from maybe Congo, Rwanda, Ghana, Nigeria, they'll opt to go to a Mauritius or a Seychelles for those reasons, because stuff like that just doesn't happen everywhere. At the end of the
Yeah.
day, it just doesn't. And you can't tell me that it does. If you would just look at the data, you would quickly find out, oh, most places on earth don't have all that cartel stuff that the Americas have, because it's truly the Americas that just, I don't know how they do it, but they just push all their cartel stuff together. However they're doing it, they intertwine it with government, they intertwine it with this, and it just makes for a very unfortunate living environment for the peoples of Mexico, for people who live in Mexico, for people who live in Brazil. They say that, I've heard stories where expats are saying the same thing. Like, I got robbed 5 times in Brazil, and then they shut down this city because the cartel, the Brazilian cartel, was coming. And it's just like, why would you go through all that? Even though Brazil does have a digital nomad visa, it's like, safety, how do you have to decide in your mind how you rate safety. We rate safety up here. Cost of living is kind of irrelevant to us coming from America, because there's not that many places on earth aside from like a Norway that are going to be more expensive than in America. So cost of living really doesn't matter as much as safety does. Transparency, ease of getting residence. But relative to ease of getting residence, because Mexico has a great residency program, but if I were to look and say, okay, do I want Mexico's residency, or do I prefer safety in the area of the world that I'm in? I'm 110,000,000,000% gonna go with the area of the world that I'm in, despite the ease of residency in Mexico, despite it being close to America. And so these are the questions that you have to think about with yourself or your family. If you're thinking of going to South America and Central America, so many people ask us, well, why don't you go there? Absolutely not. I am not going to leave America's just societal decay to go to another similar societal decay that could potentially be worse. When I leave America, I leave so that I'm going somewhere that's actually functionally better. Better for me is no cartels, no gang violence. It's not overfilled with drug violence and all these weird, there's very, very low crime. That's what better means to me. Now leave a comment down below if that's what better also means to you. I realize some people like that adventure. Some people may have grown up like in the ghetto or in the hood, and they kind of feel drawn to things like this, and they feel like it's a little safer for them to be in an area that's just so shaken up all the time. But if you're someone that identifies with peace, then your best option is in Southern Africa. Or Southeast Asia. Like, those are very peaceful. Man, the way I wish I could describe to anybody that's traveled to Africa, especially Southern Africa or East Africa, or even Southeast Asia, knows, like, over here they don't really play with crime like that. Like, the culture itself doesn't really allow the space for those types of crimes to happen, which is why we also speak so much about the societal decay of America, because it's the culture itself, the Americas really, it's the culture itself that is so bad. That's why you had 500,000, if some of you didn't know, 500,000 Latin Americans that were just given access to Spain. Some Africans in there as well, but these people are fleeing South America for Spain because it is that bad. You sitting in a resort doesn't help anybody. You sitting in a resort pretending nothing's happening isn't actually realistic. Like, if you can't go and walk up your street, I can walk up my street for miles and be absolutely fine. My children can walk up my street for miles, and we have lots of children, and be absolutely fine. All over the area, like, you're going to be absolutely fine. So there's places on earth that's even like that. In Rwanda, people say, yeah, I can walk at 2 a.m. in Rwanda and everything's fine. There are places on earth that are just better for safety for those who enjoy safety and want safety. But if you're someone who doesn't want safety, then that's your portion. That's your prerogative.
Yeah, that's 100%. Look, you got to think about, like, what is safe for you? I know for us coming from America, safe might mean something different from, you know, other countries, right? So it's literally, it's something that it's a spiritual growth, a spiritual discerning change that you have to do. And it's a mindset that you have to have. You got to change your mindset. So for us, coming from America, if you ask anybody what is safe, you know, I need a gun, right? But here on this side of the world, go to countries where people do not carry guns.
Which is most of the countries.
Yeah, so that's, I know it's a little bit different for people's mindset coming from America. Like, why would I want to do that? Like, no, I don't know. I need that safety. I need to feel safe. You know,
that's not safety.
But
that's just chaos.
When a society does not carry guns like that, you know, of course it might be like high top security that does something like that, like carry guns, but you rarely see it. You rarely see it on this side of the world,
Very
like
rare.
at all. So that's one indicator that lets you know, like, okay, this might be a good country that I need to think about, because there's no like guns allowed really. You know, it's pretty much illegal. But America, that's totally opposite. You know, you go to anybody's house, it seems like I'm pretty sure 4 out of 5 people got some type of gun or some type of I don't know, something
Firearm.
that makes them feel safe.
And
in a
it's
way.
bad now because the teenagers, even like 10-year-olds, I
Yeah,
saw a
that's-
video, a
that's
10-year-old
even
in
worse.
America unalive their neighbor because the neighbor's fighting their mom. And it's just like, this stuff, the Americas are just it's overdone. It's just out. Like, nobody wants to live like that. Why is a 10-year-old unaliving your neighbor? Why is the neighbor fighting the mom to the point that the 10-year-old feels like they have to help? Like, what is that? You just don't see that in other areas of the world. It's just not a thing. 10-year-olds in Africa, they don't function like that. They don't do that. 10-year-olds, they're playing in the
10,
village, they're picking lemons off a tree, they're going to school, they're being peaceful, they're definitely not cussing. They have no idea what gang violence is. But 10 in the Americas is a whole different issue. Like, it's just that society as a whole, those 3 continents. And that's why we are so adamant on this channel about that, because that's a clear value that our family has had since 2019, 2018, where we decided, let's move to Africa. And Africa is the only real place we would move to, aside from maybe a Southeast Asia. Why would I go someplace like that? It's just like, why would I go to Germany where they also do school shootings? Why would I move to
It's too much,
societies and
man.
cultures that are like that? And then why are you wanting to move to societies that are like that? Why don't you enjoy peace? Then you say, oh, well, it didn't happen to me, so it doesn't happen. Well, that's very selfish. That's not the right mindset to have in life.
Yeah. No, that's a good
very
question.
narrow view.
I'll say that is a good question that people probably need to answer, or answer before they move abroad. Why do I not want peace? What does peace look like to me? Like, I know it's gonna feel uncomfortable because we're not used to peace in a way, but once you feel it and taste it and live it, you like, okay, nah, I gotta move a little bit different. You know, you gotta strive for peace. Once you have peace, the peace of mind, I'm telling you, it's definitely worth it. So I'll say, like, if you are moving outside of America, just literally move away from that society, away from that spirit in a way, that cloud over there on that side of the world. Of course, there's places on this side of the world too, but that's where your research come in, right? This is why we talk to our clients in the mature adult intensive to let them know, like, certain things, like really how to move around. And it's not just Africa. You got to know how to move around the whole world in a way, you know, because there's people that we talk to and they, like say, they brought property in Mexico. They have residency in Panama. You know, they went to Belize. They went to Venezuela, but
Something
telling them to, okay, maybe I have to look at other options, right? So it's really getting serious. And if you are going to move from America, you might as well do it big.
Yeah, if you're just going to stay in the same types of societies with the same types of structural issues, just a different flight that's just 3-4 hours away with the same issues, then it's just, you might as well stay in America. I know for me, if I had to choose America over Mexico, it may be America. Because I'm just not living with the cartel. I'm not doing it. If I had to choose that over Colombia, if I had to choose that, especially with a family, it's just, it's kind of pointless to go to South America. Unless you're in somewhere like maybe Paraguay that's out the way, kind of. Maybe Argentina. But I mean, those things don't even appeal to me either, to be quite honest with you. And so really the safest places that you can find in Africa are Namibia, a Botswana, a Zambia, a Mauritius, a Seychelles, a Madagascar. It's actually a lot of places, because somebody will be like, well, didn't they just protest in Cameroon? Well, we're not in Cameroon. So
Yeah, it's a lot of places out here. So, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this information, this talk that we had. Please listen. Please listen.
and we'll see you in
And
the next
really,
video.
really consider of what's going on right now, because it's just gonna get worse. As we always say, it's just gonna get worse. It's not time to play around with your time. It's not time to play around with your life. Like, it's time to live in peace. It's time to live righteously. It's time to choose wisely, because things are heating up. You know, check the links in the description for our March 8th for mature adult intensive. And yes, look at my wife's skin. It's glowing.
Thank you.
I was like, wow, that's why I was
I'm
looking
8
at
months
you.
pregnant and it's
I'm like,
glowing.
whoa,
That's
gee,
great.
that son hit right.
Guys, I just hit 8 months pregnant. Say congratulations in the comments if
Yes.
you are listening at the 21-minute point. Okay.
Yes.
Then we'll see you in the next video. Shalom, shalom. Let us know what you think down below. Let us know if you are in South America. Has being on this type of lockdown really got you kind of like, I feel like I want to leave. If you are feeling like that, it's absolutely okay. There are other places that you can go to, like we were discussing. Not only the mature adult intensive, but just our website in general has a lot of resources that a lot of people are unaware of. We write a lot of blogs and articles on being an expatriate around the world, especially as a Black person. www.journeywithusmovetoafrica.com. We'll see you in the next one.
Shalom, family.
Shalom.